Houston, what it do?
I'm going to let it start that way. We're already recording. I love it. See, I told Scara that I think at some point she should start running these shows, and it sounds like you're ready right now.
I don't know about ready, but I just know you're opening. I figured I'd just jump in there.
I love it. Guys, welcome to episode 17 of Texans Bloodline, playoff edition. And we got a playoff win edition. I'll tell you what, Scara, this is one of those games I wish I could have watched with you, because I know you had a lot to say.
Oh my, I was standing up. I was laying down. I was like,
I know you had a lot to say. And
I was not yelling at the screen because my kid was sleeping, but.
Right. You know, you and I talked in the regular season about how I guess there is such thing as a disappointing win. I think you and I can both agree in the playoffs, we don't care. Just win. But can we just make it a little less stressful than we made it on Monday night? It's all I have to say. I just want to know what your thoughts overall on the game were. If anything happened that you had questions about, and
okay,
just
so
what your thought process was. The whole
no questions.
Okay, good.
Now, I was kind of wondering at one point why we seem to be paying these players for a little league game. I mean,
yeah,
I don't want to be mean, and
You're talking about offensively, I assume.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am proud of Stroud for this. He did say pre-game, and I quote, because he was talking about the ball, right? Mm-hmm. And get it out of my hands as fast as I can.
He did say that.
And he did do that.
Yeah. It was so weird. Sometimes he was getting rid of the ball, unfortunately, by fumbling it.
That's my point.
Yeah. CJ Stroud fumbled 5 times. He lost 2 of them, and he threw an interception in the red zone. It wasn't a great game by him. There's really no way to sugarcoat that.
And I'm gonna mama bear for a moment, because I am proud of him for not breaking down crying as I would have done. Right. And like, for keep going, he got better. He got his head back on straight. Mm-hmm. You could definitely tell, like, he was incredibly stressed and letting that get to him. And you know, we talk about how we want them just in the focus, but he was letting it affect him. And I really, like, at one point I'm like, oh, I want to give him a hug and tell him to just, like, you can do this, it's all right.
Yeah It could have went one of 2 ways. A lot of people sometimes question his mental toughness. I don't. I think he's extremely mentally tough. To me,
I think he showed that because he continued and got it back, right?
100%.
And if he had broken down like the rest of us in the world probably would have done.
Yeah, of course. And I usually make fun of the people who do this. Well, if you take away all of the bad stuff he did, which, I mean, obviously you can't take it away. But when you look at the outside of the 3 turnovers that he threw for 65% completion. I think it was 7.8 yards per attempt. And he threw 1 touchdown, 1 interception. It was a bad interception. And had 250 yards. I mean, that's a good game. And I think we all know if he didn't have the NFL's greatest defense behind him, this probably wouldn't have ended up the way that it did. But I believe just what I saw on that field, and maybe I don't know if there's any context lost with you because you may not be familiar with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know, their offense isn't great. They're kind of a similar team to the Texans. Good enough offense, really good defense. But the offense, while CJ made his mistakes, they still had 408 yards total. We ran for over 150 yards. Woody Marks, hello, sir. Welcome to the playoffs. This offensive line, yes, they had a couple of bad moments, but all in all, I mean, it was a really good team win. And when the scoreboard didn't reflect it early until the end of the 4th quarter, but finally the score actually reflected the domination we saw, honestly, on both sides of the ball. While the offense yes, the turnovers, you take those away, and the offense. You and I have talked so many times about how CJ Stroud will do something but terrible, and then he'll do something amazing, and you're like, bro, like, come on. That's
Maybe for
why. That's why we get so frustrated. That one
yeah.
throw, he do an absolute strike to Christian Kirk, who we'll get to in a moment. You probably forgot he was even on
Mm.
the team.
I did not actually. No, because he's shown up here and there.
He's had a couple of moments. This is by far, I mean, and thank you, sir, for having the greatest
Mm.
game that you've ever had in a Texans uniform during the playoffs. I mean, much, much needed. And we'll get to his role in this next game coming up. But that one strike he threw to him down the sideline, I mean, I was like, CJ, that's why people think you can be great, not just
Mhm.
good, but like one of the greatest to ever do it because you do stuff like that.
Yes.
And we just need some consistency out of him. And I hope the fact that he played that badly and still won the game will be a boost to his confidence. And I know D'Amico Ryans and Nick Caley are both, they're going to go through the film and they're going to show him where he made mistakes, but they're also
I
going to
mean,
show him
he
the
knows.
right. But they're going to show him like the
That's
moment he had a chance to do something different.
mhm.
And then they're going to go show him the great things he did also and say, CJ, this is what we know you're capable of. Hopefully
Yes.
they'll mama bear him too, like you were
Well,
trying
and
to.
speaking of Ryan's, I did notice his personality started showing on his face, like, you
Yeah.
normally can't he's a blank slate,
Hmm.
and he definitely had some moments of worry.
Yeah, he was getting frustrated. I
Mhm.
remember specifically the camera caught him one time in slow motion saying, "What are we doing?" And trust me, D'Amico, we were asking the same thing, but you're the
Mhm.
guy who gets paid to answer that question. So, and he
Uh,
talked about CJ, and the thing is he's not gonna come out. A lot of people wanted him to come out and be like, "Oh, CJ was horrible. He's got to be better." Like he just came out and he said, "Look, CJ made mistakes. Those things happen. It's all about how you respond, how you bounce back,"
mm,
and he did that. And
and he
so
did,
that's
and
what he's gonna say publicly. I'm sure in the locker room he'll have something different to say.
yeah, but I think that that defines how this team operates, right? The
Hmm.
positivity is I'm not going to put down my own player.
Right.
Like he probably doesn't put him down in the locker room, like not in the sense that like you suck,
Yeah.
you're the worst, you know.
No, no,
It's
no.
I'm sure it's like a hey, you know you messed up. We all know you messed up. Let's review. Let's move forward,
Yeah.
growth mindset
Yeah.
for those teachers out
He
there.
he comes yeah, for sure. He comes across to me as the type of guy who's I'm gonna show you this bad film one time and then we're gonna flush it. Like let's move on from
Mhm.
that. And I really hope I'm not freezing in this video. I guess we'll find out.
I mean, I see you
It sounds
moving.
good, so we're good. Um yeah, I want to go back to Woody Marks really quick because this young man, tough as nails, rookie, never been in this situation before and just looked like a professional. Came
Mhm.
out and did his job. And I got to give credit to the offensive line too because Nick Chubb had a good running game too. They just dominated a really good defensive front. The Pittsburgh Steelers, their strength on their team is their front four and stopping the
Mhm.
run. And you took what they do best and you destroyed them at it. So that makes me really optimistic moving forward.
Yeah, and I noticed one of the commentators was talking about, yeah, I don't think they were expecting Texans to run.
Mm-mm.
That's they didn't practice for that.
Yeah, probably not. And which tells me the Patriots will probably be paying a little bit closer attention.
Mm,
And the Patriots do have a good defense. But honestly, I think the Steelers defense is better than theirs, if I'm being perfectly honest. At least I don't know. The Patriots are a good defense for a different reason. They have a bunch of young players, and unlike the Texans who don't substitute a whole lot, the Patriots substitute. So they always have fresh players out there. And what that does is it gives some of their younger players more reps, more experience. So I would say that maybe they're a little bit deeper. Um,
remember,
but
I was wondering about that earlier, like why
yeah,
yeah.
I would say they're a little bit more deeper as far as each position. But the Texans, their starters, I mean, nobody's messing with those guys. I mean, this is the best defense I've seen in a really, really long time. In 2017, Seattle had a defense that got nicknamed the Legion of Boom. We don't have a nickname for this defense yet, and that's weird. Usually by now, back in the old JJ Watt days, we used to call them Bulls on Parade. Nobody's nicknamed this defense yet, and that's weird. I've been trying to come up with something, but nothing really. You know,
It's
was trying to think of something that plays off of Bulls on Parade, but this defense deserves their whole own category, their own nickname, because they're just that good. And to hold Aaron Rodgers, and yes, he's 42, which is the same age as me, so I'm not going to bash 42 too
Oh
hard.
gosh, I just can't. I know my husband and I were the whole game we're like, "Oh, I don't want him to break. He's gonna like."
Yeah,
Can you imagine?
but every time they're like, "Oh, this 42-year-old," I'm like, "Hey, 42 is not that old, bro. Okay, stop."
It is in this context.
Yes,
It
in
is.
football years, he's ancient, of course.
However, he was it's obvious why he was still there.
Yeah, I mean, he just didn't have time to do anything. This defense smothered everything. I want to talk about Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter, who when I saw them getting ready when the national anthem was being sung, and I saw
Mhm.
the look on their face, I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna have a game. That one sack that there wasn't actually a Texans player who touched Aaron Rodgers. They just collapsed his entire offensive line into him. So like I don't even know how. I think they gave Will Anderson a half sack on that, and maybe one of the D tackles another half sack. I don't know who you decide who sacked him, but it was just utter dominance. Like literally the entire offensive line just collapsed around him and he fell. Insane stuff. And
I mean,
that's the
how
reason
okay,
that's the reason they're moving on.
how many different times did a quarterback, right? Not just ours, not
Hmm.
just theirs, a quarterback in this game just drop the ball. Like,
Yeah,
it was
it's
so strange.
yeah, and I don't know if like when it gets cold, your fingertips are kind of
And
numb, and
and that's
maybe
what I
that had something to
figured,
do
and
with it.
I think that's what I contributed a lot of Stroud's, like, mistakes to, like, where he
Yeah,
just dropped or he was trying to throw and it kinda, I mean,
yeah. If you've
I
ever,
was out for 5 minutes yesterday and my hands were cold, so
yeah, I don't know if you've ever tried to throw a football when your hands are cold, but like it feels really slick. Like
yeah,
I don't.
yesterday.
Oh, okay, you were throwing that's what's
Yeah,
up.
I play with my son almost every day, so
I love it. Yeah, and I mean, what was our low yesterday? Like 40 something. I think
yeah,
they were in like 26
yeah,
in the mid 20s.
uh-huh,
So yeah. But that being said, it's going to be cold in New England too. Like you got to protect the ball. You got to protect the ball. What happened uh, on Monday is very rare. It's very rare that you turn the ball that over that many times and you still get a win.
mhm,
But to think about, you turned it over 3 times. They only got 3 points off of all of those turnovers. It's
and they were
insane.
close.
They were very close. And Aaron Rodgers is a good quarterback. He's not as mobile as he used to be. He used to be one of those guys who could run around a lot,
I wonder
but you
why.
could just see the frustration on his face.
Y
Like,
well, yeah,
and
yeah,
when that last pick six he threw, which unfortunately is going to be the last throw he ever throws in his career because he's probably going to retire now. Um, he got hit as he threw, and like he was on the ground, and they kind of zoomed in on his face, and just the look on his face, I could just see it. He's like, "Yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done."
My mama bear came out then too because
Yeah,
"Oh, this is gonna be his last game
yeah,
after, like, a 20-year, go in
uh,
the NFL, and this is it?
yeah.
Oh."
And I mean, he's one of the greatest of all time. I mean, he only
Yeah.
won. I say he only won one Super
Mm,
Bowl. Super winning the Super Bowl is hard, but he's one of those guys that people thought would win multiple Super Bowls just because of how good he is.
mhm.
When he was in his prime, I mean, he was dangerous. He was
Yeah.
dangerous, and he still got enough of an arm that he got a team to the playoffs. That it was a mediocre offense, but they got
But
there.
but imagine walking off the last day of your job knowing that you're going to
Oh yeah.
be part of the Hall of Fame in 5 years, right? So, it's not you know, I know it was a rough game for him, and that probably hurt to be his last game and his
Hmm.
last play and all that, but
Yeah. What I've heard from players in the past who've given interviews, like, how did you know when it was time to retire? Because they say that competitive edge is all there. So is always there. I'm sure
mhm.
when he walked off that field, he was steaming mad that I can't believe my last throw. It's a pick six. I got to come back next year. I got to do better. So you have that side. And then there's the side of like, do I want to play football anymore?
Mhm.
And once that desire to play football is gone and overtakes that competitive edge, they've all said that's when I knew it was time for me to hang it up. Because you think
So,
about it,
basically, just questioning it is your indication.
yeah, for sure. Like they started this season in mid July going to mini camps, and then in August, you know, training camps. Like it's been a long year, and then
Mhm.
17 weeks of slamming your body into other human beings. Like,
Well, or
it's
him getting slammed by other
right,
humans.
yeah, I I wouldn't want to do it. I mean, everybody says, "Oh yeah, for that
Mhm.
money, I would do." Okay, that's
Mhm.
once you've made the money now, and you don't have to do it anymore, and your
Hopefully, he has a
legacy,
good financial advisor, right?
yeah, and your legacy is set.
You're good.
It's got to be tough. I mean, getting
And
up.
he's gonna have a job somewhere, like,
Yeah,
doing
I could
something.
I could see him being in TV maybe, or I mean, like you said, hopefully he's taking care of his finances because unfortunately there are a lot of former NFL players who are completely broke within 5 years of retiring. Aaron Rodgers seems like a guy who's probably got his affairs in order, and he's made
Mhm.
a lot of money in his career. So he seems to me like somebody who will probably be okay um, with life after football. But it's crazy. The Texans retired one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time and one of the greatest coaches of all time because just
Mm.
the very next day, Mike Tomlin decided to step down, which kudos to the Pittsburgh Steelers for allowing him to do that rather than just firing him. I think he deserves it. He's been there 19 years. He won a Super Bowl for them. He's never had a losing season, but he
Mm.
also hasn't won. That was their seventh straight playoff loss. So sometimes you
Yeah.
can be somewhere so long it's just time to hear a different voice, right? You've maybe experienced that in your line of work.
Oh, 100%. Like, I think we've just said this before. I can tell my students things 50 billion times, and
Mhm.
then one other director comes in, says the exact same words in the same order, and suddenly they can hear it.
Yeah, it's just time for a fresh voice, I guess.
Yeah.
So the weird thing about this, and this is just kind of the Texans may be in this situation someday, so we can talk about it. Since he did not get fired, technically the Steelers still own his rights. So since he decided to step down, he can't just go coach for another team
Mm,
this year unless the Steelers decided to trade him. I don't know if you knew this, but coaches can get traded also.
I did not.
Okay. So he may decide, I'm going to take the year off and then see what's going on next year. And I think next year he's no longer under contract for
Mm,
Pittsburgh. So he can probably just do whatever he wants. A lot of people think he's going to go to TV because I don't know if you've ever watched any of his press conferences, but he's very charismatic and he's fairly young. You know, I think he's only like 53 years old.
so
So
you don't think he's gonna continue coaching?
I don't know.
Okay.
He could take a year off and do TV. And here's the thing: some people have gone to TV and then gone back to coaching, but that TV money is real and it's a lot less work. When you're a coach, you don't get a day off.
And on the
He,
field and
yeah,
all the
this
things.
man hasn't had a day off in 19 years. Every day,
Mm,
he's probably thinking about something about this football team.
yep.
And so because let's say they lose this game and he's still the head coach, he's got to start getting ready for the draft. He's got to start looking at who's going to be available on free agents. He's got to reassess all the players that are on his team. Do I want to bring them back? Like he would be getting right back to work. So I
Well,
say you earned the rest, man. I, I would love to see him back in coaching. Me personally, just because I think number one, there's not a whole lot of African American coaches in the NFL. There's more now than there used to be. But he was kind of like the pioneer. When he first started, I think he was the only African American coach in the
mm,
NFL. Jim Caldwell coached the Colts for a little bit, but there's not a lot of them. There's more of them now. Obviously, we have one in D'Amico Ryans.
obvious
Um,
the best one.
yes, 100%. But
I don't
I
even know
would
the other coaches, but I know that he's the best.
I would like to see him back in coaching. Hell, I wouldn't mind maybe because here's the thing: Matt Burke is going to get job interviews. Um,
I don't know. I would have to know who that is, but
Matt
I'm gonna
Burke,
yeah, uh-huh, yeah.
Matt Burke is our defensive coordinator. The
Oh,
handsome,
that's right. I always
the handsome
I
guy with the
forget
beard.
about him.
Yeah, yeah. He's been calling the plays ever since the Titans game where we shut them out and did not allow them to score a point.
That's right.
So a
Yeah.
lot of teams are looking at him
Mm.
for a head coaching job next year. Some people think he's going to be the Titans head coach, which will make me really mad if that happens. But um, so D'Amico is going to need another defensive coordinator, and that's what Mike Tomlin does. He's the defensive guy. So who knows? We'll see. We'll have to let our season finish, which hopefully won't be for a couple more weeks.
That'd be
Um,
great, or maybe even a month. That'd be even better.
yeah, for
So
sure.
what about okay, can you tell me about Collins? What's going on with that?
You read my mind. I wanted to get into that because unfortunately,
Oh, no.
Nico Collins suffered his second concussion in just the last few weeks. If you remember, he missed the 49ers game with a concussion.
I didn't remember it was a concussion, but I knew
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Yeah. So this is his second concussion.
And that looked
And
bad.
yeah,
That did
I
not look
mean, he
good.
didn't even walk off the field. They carted him. And usually your second one is a lot worse than your first one. And the problem is that you don't want to start compounding these things.
Mhm.
So he only missed one game with his first concussion, which if you recall, I think him and CJ got concussed. It wasn't the same game.
I don't think it was the
It was
same
back-to-back weeks.
it was close,
Yeah.
whatever it was.
But CJ missed 3 games and Nico only missed 1, which I mean, I know there's different degrees of
Yeah.
concussion. Um, but
But
I
I'm
have
just worried seeing how he hit the ground,
yeah.
and I'm really annoyed. I'm just being nice with that word, that the other player was, like, basically holding his arms back so he couldn't catch himself is what it looked like.
Yeah. It kinda, like, drove him into the ground.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I don't wanna judge that player. Obviously, all of that's happening really fast. In slow motion, it looked bad. Um, but I'm worried that I know Nico's not playing against New England. So you and
Yeah.
we wanted to talk about that too. But there's a chance if the Texans win, he may not be playing in the AFC Championship game either.
Oof.
And then if they were to win that, there would be a week off before the Super Bowl. So perhaps if they get to the Super Bowl, he would make it back. This is what I hope. And I believe that the Texans are a professional organization and I know they care about their players. I don't want him to come back too soon just for the sake of trying to win.
Yeah.
I understand it's a rare opportunity to win a Super Bowl, but man, you have to live life after you're
Mm.
done playing football.
Mhm. It's
And
not worth somebody's life.
no, it's absolutely not worth it. And I've seen too many other teams handle this situation poorly. I think I've talked to you about the Miami quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa. I think he's had like 5 concussions. One of them was horrific. I mean, as soon as he got hit, he just collapsed to the ground and his fingers
Oh
were
my
curled
gosh.
up. It was,
Oh my
and
gosh.
that was like his second concussion of that season, but he's had multiple and he's still playing. And he's playing horrible now. And everybody's like, what happened to Tua? And I'm like, well, his brain is probably scrambled eggs. So
Oh my gosh.
I don't want that to. I love Nico and
Mhm.
I know they need him on the field. But if my choice is win the Super Bowl or Nico Collins live a long and healthy life, I may be in the minority here because there are some extremely irrational football fans out there. But for me, I would rather Nico Collins live a long and healthy life after he's done with football and not have a Super Bowl ring than have a Super Bowl ring and we read a headline of him
And have
in the
TBI
news.
and
Yeah. We have a headline of him in the news in 10 years that he did something terrible to himself or to somebody else. Not worth
yeah,
it. Not worth it.
I agree. So, who is going to replace him?
And that is the question at hand. And I know there's somebody out there that my co-host is looking at. Here's the thing. You recall in the 49ers game, he did not play.
Mhm,
And in that game, I think 8 different people caught balls, including your favorite player and the person
mhm.
I know you're going to be looking to step up. And I'm looking to this person too, Mr. Xavier Hutchinson. It's big shoes to fill, Scara. And, I feel like Xavier's probably
He can do it.
he's a competitor. And I don't think he's scared of the moment. But
Mm,
at the same time, that moment can be intimidating. Your best player just went down. This is the biggest game you've ever played in your career. So I want you, Scare, if you would, to let's Mama Bear Mr. Xavier Hutchinson a little bit. I need you to give him your best pep talk to get him going, and maybe this man will be the star of this game and just might be the reason the Houston Texans get to the AFC Championship game. Let me hear your best pep talk for Xavier.
all right. Look, Xavier. I know you can do this. You have played an amazing game every time they put you on the field. You know where to be. You know how to catch that ball. Don't let the crowd and the noise and the stress and the situation affect you. I saw you play in this last game, so I know you can do it in a high stress situation. And just like Nick has recognized, and I've recognized this entire season, every time they put you on that field, you do great things. And you are going to be a star of the Texans one day. And I need you to stay to do that.
Amen. I love it because Xavier Hutchinson, you hit the nail on the head. When he's in the game, he makes plays, and I'm always like, get that man in the game more. You
Mhm.
feel the same way, and it's gonna have to be, it's gonna be a group effort. But here's what I do know: I just got this feeling in my bones that Xavier Hutchinson is gonna make a big play in this next
Mm.
game, and we're gonna be
You
so
can.
happy. We're gonna be so happy when that happens, and Scara will be cheering louder than anyone else, Mr. Xavier
I
Hutchinson,
sure will.
because she is your number one fan. And our biggest dream is for you to catch the game winning touchdown in this game. And I know you'll probably want to keep the ball for yourself.
That's fine.
Keep the ball. But that jersey, though, I think that jersey should go to your biggest fan, my co host, Miss Scara K, because she has been cheering you on since the preseason, since before preseason, since we started prepping for this show. She was looking forward to seeing you play. And Scara, that's your guy. And
I
he hasn't
know.
disappointed you, and I don't think he's going to disappoint you on Sunday. I'm looking for him to do something big. All it's going to take is one big play. You've watched some of these other games, right?
I've watched all the other games.
Okay, so the playoff games.
Oh,
Have you
no.
watched any of the playoff games? Okay. Well, I'll just tell you, every single one of them have been tight. Actually, the
Mm.
margin for our game was the biggest margin of any game. Every other game was a one-score game. Went down to the last couple of possessions.
Wow.
And I have a feeling that's going to continue. And it only takes one big play to change everything. And, we had those big plays by Christian Kirk uh, on Monday night. Woody Marks made some big plays. Even Nick Chubb had some really important runs. And Xavier Hutchinson, he had a couple of good catches in this game. Jaden Higgins did as well. It's going to take a team effort, but man, it will be so special if our guy, the guy we've been rooting for from day one, Mr. Xavier Hutchinson, could make a big play on Sunday, and I'm looking forward to it.
And then give me your jersey.
And then we got to get that jersey.
Don't worry, you don't have to wash it.
Yeah. Sweat and all, man. We'll take it.
Just put it in all.
It's got to survive the trip from. It's got to survive the trip from New England back to H-Town, man. We'd love to have it. So I got to find out what his Twitter handle, his Instagram. We're gonna let him know we want that jersey when he catches the important touchdown in this game.
Or even if he doesn't, but he's going to.
Yeah. He's gonna do something. He's gonna do something big. Maybe it won't be a touchdown. Maybe it'll be a big third down conversion. He's
That's
gonna do
okay,
something
but
big. I just have a feeling.
he can do it.
Yeah, I have a feeling. Every time him and Jalen Noel are two of my favorite underdogs on this team because they always
Yes.
just make something happen. Him, Jalen Noel, and Woody Marks. They're
And
like
Marks,
the
I was
three
gonna say, yeah.
musketeers right there. Yeah, those are my guys. So I wanted to set up for you some of the backstory of the New England Patriots.
And what we're walking into.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you're probably familiar with the name Tom Brady.
Yes.
Okay. Tom Brady, widely considered the greatest quarterback of all time. He won 6 Super Bowls with the New England Patriots. They were at one time an absolute dynasty.
Right.
As soon as he left, they kind of fell off of a cliff.
Hmm.
The Patriots dynasty started though back in their first Super Bowl win was 2001, if I'm not mistaken, and they won, from that point forward, 6 Super Bowls over the next couple of decades, and they became the blueprint. Everybody wanted to copy what the Patriots were doing. There is no team in the NFL who spent decades trying to copycat the New England Patriots than your Houston Texans. To the point that after Gary Kubiak, who was the first coach to ever take us to the playoffs, excuse me. He was hired in 2006. We got to the playoffs in 2011. And then I think 2013
And
was his last season here.
And what year did Texans begin?
2002 was their
2?
first year.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
So once he left, it was time to bring in a new coach, a new regime, new GM, all of that. And that is the moment that the Houston Texans became what a lot of people called the New England Patriots South. They hired Bill O'Brien as a coach. Bill O'Brien was an offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots. He brought in all Patriots on his coaching staff. A lot of former Patriots players came with him. We were going to try to mimic everything the New England Patriots were doing.
So we literally just became the Patriots, only with a different name.
Right, and we weren't as good. I mean, none of it worked. None of it worked. They tried
Spoiler.
so hard to be the Patriots, and it wasn't good. And so, ironically, the GM that we have now, Nick Caserio, is a former Patriot. But they were trying to get Nick Caserio as their GM a long time ago because he was supposed to be the guy who was going to build us into the new Patriots. In 2019, he was working for the Patriots, but the Texans wanted him. And the Patriots actually sued the Texans for tampering for trying to get one of their employees. And I don't remember what happened from that lawsuit. It might have ended up getting thrown out because
I would think so, because they can ask anyone they want to work for them.
Well, there is such thing in the league as tampering. It's not like it's not illegal as far as like U.S. law, but there is tampering in the NFL. Like if somebody is working for another team, you have to have that team's permission to talk to them. And so the word on the street is that we were taking backdoor channels to, try to wink, wink, nod, nod at Nick Caserio. The Patriots, they didn't sue them, but they filed a complaint with the league for tampering. So the Texans decided, okay, we'll back off. We'll try to hire somebody else. At the time, their quarterback, Deshaun Watson, wanted to be involved in that decision, and he was not involved in it. That made him very upset. So he decided he didn't want to play here anymore.
Why? What right does a quarterback have?
Because he was considered a franchise quarterback. Like he was probably the second best quarterback in the league. And in the NFL, that gives you a certain amount of power within an organization. Or in most organizations, it does. They didn't give him any say-so. They hired a GM. His name is escaping me right now. It's not essential to the story. They hired a couple of GMs and a couple of coaches. This is just really weird. They went through 2 seasons where it was pretty clear they were just hiring filler coaches. Like they hired a man by the name of David Culley who had never coached on any level before. Not a head coach. He'd been like a special teams coach, conditioning coach, but he was not a head coach. And everybody was like, what is going on? Including the quarterback.
Odd, right?
So, surprisingly, David Culley wins 4 games with an absolute trash team because what Deshaun Watson decided is, I'm not playing. I'm not going to play. So he sat out that entire year. And the Texans were like, okay, well, you're not going to get paid then. But, he had enough money from his previous years. It was just a really weird situation. But everybody expected the Texans to be horrible. And the fact that they won 4 games was actually kind of surprising. David Culley gets fired. And everybody's like, bro, what the hell? Like, he actually did better than we thought he was going to do. They bring in Lovie Smith. Lovie Smith used to coach the Bears. He got them to a Super Bowl a long time ago. Keep in mind, these are the Texans' first 2 full-time African-American head coaches in their organization. They both get one and done. And so eyebrows start to get raised. Like, okay, the only 2 black guys you've ever hired, you fired them after 1 year. And it doesn't help that at the time, the former owner, who is now no longer with us, Mr. Robert McNair, had made some unsightly comments about the league, about the players in the league. At one point referred to them as the prisoners running the prison, which is, I think the term is supposed to be the inmates running the asylum. But he said the inmates running the prison. That's what he called them. About some of these players having too much power. And it wasn't a good look. It was very bad PR. all of a sudden the Houston Texans organization was being looked down upon extremely badly. Then you also have, Deshaun Watson was their first full-time African-American quarterback. Now he's not playing. Then some old stories start coming out about about how Bob McNair got really upset with players who were celebrating when Barack Obama won the election back in 2008 and made some unsightly comments to them. So like all of this stuff's coming out of the woodworks. The Houston Texans organization is in shambles. I mean, absolute shambles. Nobody wants to play here. The team sucks. They're like, who the hell is going to want to coach here now? It's just bad all the way around. And they fire all of those people because they're still trying to get Nick Caserio behind the scenes. So everybody's like, bro, we're still trying to be the Patriots. Like the Patriots aren't even the Patriots anymore. And we're still trying to be the Patriots. So when Nick Caserio does get hired, he's the one who's charged with trying to figure out what to do with Deshaun Watson. But what happens is Deshaun Watson, one of the reasons he sat out for an entire year, he got caught up in this whole scandal where he was supposedly sexually assaulting massage therapists. Oh, Scara. It was bad. This was just a couple of years ago. Like this organization.
I feel like I remember that.
Yeah, this organization was in shambles. Even though he was going through that controversy, somehow, some way, Nick Caserio gets the Cleveland Browns to give us like buku draft picks for Deshaun Watson. Draft picks that ended up turning into Will Anderson Jr., ended up turning into the great team that we have right now.
We'll take him.
We'll take him. Thank you, Nick Caserio. I'm going to be honest with you. I was one of the people who was mad about Nick Caserio being here because I don't want to be the Patriots. I'm tired of trying to be the Patriots. Robert McNair passes away. His son Cal McNair takes over, and his son basically renovates the entire organization, their reputation. It's a complete wash. And the first thing he does is he hires D'Amico Ryans. D'Amico Ryans, having played here before, has a relationship with this organization. It was the right hire. He was the hottest coach on the market at the time, and everybody was really happy to have him.
Can I side note about Cal?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if you saw the Texans little video that they did with him, because there's a shot of right after the game. Stroud is going by and high-fiving a bunch of people, and McNair puts his hand up, but Stroud misses him.
Yes.
And then so there's a whole series of him like walking through the hallways with his hand still up like this.
Yes.
He's walking, going all these different places, and people are like, oh, no, don't hit it. That's for Stroud. It was really cute.
That is a perfect example of how Cal McNair changed the perception of him, of this entire organization, because that wouldn't have happened 5 years ago. And now him and his wife Hannah has become as much a part of the culture and a representative of this team, and he's allowed her to step out in front. Like it's a beautiful thing. Like it's compared to what it's hard for me to. This was 5 years ago.
Oh wow!
And
so
they've completely
saw what his dad was doing and decided not to
do it a little bit different. Started embracing all of the cultures that are in Houston, because Houston is a melting pot of culture. That's where the new H-Town jerseys came from. That's where he talked to the fans.
Look at your players.
Yeah, 100%. So all of a sudden, NRG Stadium changed. It went from nothing but country music all the time to we'll sprinkle in some hip hop in there, and then we'll have Paul Wall perform at halftime. Like we just started embracing the H-Town culture, and that not only changed the product off the field, but then on the field. These players, they love this team. They love the staff. They love this city. They love the organization, so they play hard. But I say all that to say the New England Patriots, one of their former players who was a former coach on our team, is now the head coach of the Patriots in Mike Vrabel. He was a linebackers coach here, and then he became the defensive coordinator. Another tie-in is he left here to go to the Tennessee Titans, the former Houston Oilers. He was their head coach, did not have success there, went back to New England. And so now He's got a young team. Drake May, very good young quarterback. He just might, I'm not going to say he's the next Tom Brady, but he's going to be the first really good quarterback they've had since Tom Brady. And, they won 14 games this year. Now, they didn't really
We
play.
won 12.
Yeah, they didn't play anybody either. Like the Texans had a much harder schedule than the Patriots did. The Patriots have not faced a team like the Houston Texans this season. Definitely not this defense. When
So
this
that will help.
defense last season did play a young Drake May, a rookie Drake May, they absolutely dominated them. Now he's better, the team's better, but so are the Texans. So those are the backstory. It's so there's so many twists and turns on
So
it.
what I'm hearing
It's hard to
is
keep up with.
this is the rival that we want to beat.
Absolutely. Especially probably, I don't know if inside the organization they're feeling it as much as the fans are. Because number one, we hated the Patriots because they were so good for so long. We hated the Patriots because all of their rejects came here and tried to turn us into them, and it was not successful. The teams were awful. I believe we won 7 games in a 4-year span trying to be the New England Patriots. It was bad. It was just really, really bad. And so now that we've washed ourselves away of that, for the most part, once again, Nick Caserio is still here. But I'm pretty sure Nick Caserio may have wanted to bring in another former New England Patriot. I think Cal McNair said, no, we're going to get the best coach that's available, and that's D'Amico Ryans. And I think that Nick Caserio was smart enough to say, you know what, that's a good move. Because not only is he the hottest coach on the market, the best coach for the job, but he used to play here. He's an African-American coach. Like, let's keep it real. Like, we need to save face on that. I'm not saying that's the reason you hire him, but they did 2 African-American coaches really dirty on top of some other, eyebrow-raising things that happened previous to that. So it was just all really smart moves. And from that moment on, what's D'Amico Ryans done? He's only become already the first coach in history to go to the playoff his first 3 years in a row. He has he's tied the franchise record for wins. They've already, last week on Monday, that was their first win on the road in the playoffs in franchise history. So he's already broken so many records, set so many standards. It was the right move. And so we are no longer the New England Patriots South. We are the Houston Texans, and we're getting ready to go up to New England and show them what that feels like. And I'm hyped for it. I'm so excited for it. We had a great watch party out at Platypus. I will say the Lone Star Trill Gators showed up. My brother DJ'd, and then, everybody who follows Mr. 713, Ruben Calvillo, everybody who not everybody, but a lot of people who follow us showed up. We packed out the patio, and it was an electric atmosphere. And Scara, I'm too old for this. I'm exhausted. I told my wife, I was like, I don't know if I want to do a watch party next week. Like, I am. What sounds good to me?
You were not Rodgers who had to play that game
That's
and
true.
then go do all the extra stuff.
I cannot imagine. And we still haven't decided yet. It's kind of up in the air, Scara. But I told my wife, I was like, what sounds perfect to me is cuddled up on the couch, a smorgasbord of sushi sitting in front of us, a ice cold beer, and just watching the TV, watching the playoff game with you. And she's like, we can do that. She's like, but if you want to do a watch party, we can do that too. I'm like, okay. So now
it's Sunday and during the day rather than the evening.
Yes, that's one plus. And I think by the end of the day today, I'll give you an update on if anything's happening, because I don't want to be that guy. Everybody else is really I'm excited about the playoffs too. And I think I'm probably just feel this way because I still feel like I tried to stop a train by myself on Monday. But I'm excited about this game. And if we do have a watch party, we will make sure that we let all of you guys know. Please continue to follow all of our socials and continue to subscribe to this channel. You can follow Scara at Scara K on TikTok. I'm sorry. She is at Bad Teacher Tales on TikTok and at Bad Teacher Tales on YouTube.
Instagram and YouTube.
You're on IG now?
I always
Okay.
I was just not using it. So I started trying.
So this is what you do. Just take your TikTok videos And the same way you're putting them on YouTube, just put those, make those
That's what I
on.
started doing.
That's what I'm talking about. So you guys go follow at Bad Teacher Tales on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I'll make sure I have links in the description for that. For those who are watching us for the first time, first of all, where have you been? But go ahead and let them know a little bit about what Bad Teacher Tales is about.
Bad Teacher Tales, I collect teacher stories or educator stories at this point and tell them anonymously. And then some episodes, some of the shorter episodes, we just kind of talk about topics and things in education that may surprise the general public.
I'm very, very happy that you're doing that. I'm glad you got all your socials moving. Proud of you, because I know
Thank
that's
you.
your baby. I know you love that thing. And you've probably experienced the same thing I've experienced. It's harder than it looks. And so whenever people show appreciation, please subscribe, please follow those. You know, Scara puts a lot of hard work into those. It means a lot to her just to have somebody say, hey, I like that. Because trust me, you're going to get a lot of haters. They're not ashamed to come out and tell you how much you suck. So anytime we get some love, we appreciate it. If you can show some love to the Houston Sports State of the Union as well, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. You can save Texans Bloodline as a favorite on your playlist. Please do so.
As you should.
As you should. This is my favorite show that I do because I've told you guys over and over again, it feels like I'm falling in love with this team all over again with Scara. And I'm so glad you've got to experience a playoff win on the road. This is the first time it's happened. So
lots of history this season.
Yes. Welcome to the Texans. And hopefully we make history again because the Texans have never played in an AFC championship game. Okay, really quick before we go, let me set up what we want to happen. Obviously, we want to win this game. And we want the Buffalo Bills to beat the Broncos. Okay. Because if those two things happen, ma'am, the road to the Super Bowl comes through Houston. It'll be the AFC Championship game will be in NRG Stadium. And if that happens, you guys are going to have to put some extra support on the walls of that building because we are going to blow the roof off. I promise you that. Oh, but that's what we want to happen. And we've already played Josh Allen this year, sacked him 8 times. One of the Texans' defense's greatest games. We've already made him have 2 of the worst games of his entire career. One of them was the worst game by a quarterback in the history of the NFL. So we're not scared of him, especially if he's here. Ouch. Can we please make this happen? Otherwise, they have to go to Denver, and I imagine next week it's going to be very, very cold.
Very cold.
And we need CJ to get some hand warmers. Please put some stick them on your hands. I don't know what you got to do.
I agree that you need to let go of the ball. There's just a proper way to do that.
100%. And hopefully next week, we will have gotten in contact with Mr. Xavier Hutchinson.
Yes.
And hopefully his jersey will be en route to my girl Scara's house. Guys, I'm looking so forward to this game. You know, at some point, the season is going to end. I don't want it to end anytime soon. But, man, what a ride we've been on, Scara. Thank you so much for going on this journey and taking us on this journey with you. It's been a blast, and I can't wait to keep going. You guys, we're going to see you, hopefully, talking about the Houston Texans going to the AFC Championship game. In the meantime, please stay 10 toes down for the H. We love you. Good night.